by Geico. Wizards piston Jan Mahinmi catches a pass in transition, dunks all over Langston Galloway.
Oh, go get it, Jan. You see what the problem there is? Galloway trying to take one of those weak charges, get boomed on.
He's in the restricted area, but that is part of the game, though. I mean,
I know. It's the worst part of the game.
It's just a fundamental. That's all.
Get boomed on by Mahinmi.
Yeah, I'm in the NBA. You think I ain't going to get dunked on?
Derrick Rose, back home in Chicago, takes it to the basket strong, hits the crazy shot falling out of bounds.
Really cool moment for D. Rose in this game. You saw what the Bulls fans did for him at one point? Started an MVP chant. I really like that. For the hometown kid who won an MVP, the league's youngest MVP ever, having his best season really since the MVP season probably,
there is
all things considered. A really cool moment for him. Really nice move by him.
One of the top scorers coming off the bench this year. I think he's getting 16 points a game as one of the league leaders. Great story by him and what he's doing with the Timberwolves.
Look at those uniforms. Heat, Raptors, Hassan Whiteside spins around Serge Ibaka and slams.
Some team might trade for Hassan Whiteside at the deadline. They'll regret it, but it might happen. He has such ability and just can't channel the mental part of the game. But you see what he can do defensively. You see moments like that, and you want to believe in Hassan Whiteside. And then you remember why he's not playing fourth quarters for the Miami Heat.
Moving on to Pacers and Hawks. Victor Oladipo will drive to the basket looking to drop the hammer, gets denied by Justin Anderson.
Oh, no. You gotta try to go with two hands or go on the left side. They not having it. Great block there. Man, he cocked that one back. You got to try to quick dunk that one and get up before him.
And salute Justin Anderson. He didn't come over from the weak side and try to take one of them charges.
Stop that, man.
He went up
We're
and
not
got
going to be able to watch basketball unless you go over the fundamentals. All right? I'm going to put my foot down on this.
You're going to put your foot down on it?
Yes.
All right, let's move on to LeBron James. It is no secret.
I like talking about charges.
It is no secret that he and the Lakers are still looking to add pieces to the team. LeBron knows that in order to do that, he'll have to get out on the recruiting trail. One of those pieces he may have recruited this offseason was Kevin Durant. But KD called the environment around the King toxic, and that, according to LeBron, did not sit well. LeBron said he expressed his disappointment to KD, and KD apologized for how the comment was received. All right, Nick, what do you make of LeBron's power to recruit another elite superstar?
I think LeBron got it just right in the interview, which is it's partially him and it's partially the city and the team. He said, and he wouldn't quite reveal, he was like, man, I almost had something put together in Cleveland the first time around. And Rachel Nichols prodded him for who it was. He's like, I'm going to wait on it. But he's like, it was hard to get guys to come to Cleveland. Said it was not hard to get guys to come to Miami. And it will not be hard to get guys to come to Los Angeles. Now, while I think Kevin Durant phrased it in an awkward and kind of unfair way, he's not wrong in that it is a different environment around LeBron than around any other superstar in the league because of the intense scrutiny and coverage LeBron gets and whatever team he's on gets. So you've got to have the right makeup, and you've got to, at this moment, be okay with not being the focal point of an organization, the focal point of a team. So there might be some guys that cross their names off the list from that. But the best player in the world, with the greatest franchise in NBA history, in arguably the nicest city in the country, all of those things are excellent recruiting tools. They are now all together in one. It's one of the reasons why I've said all along, I would be shocked if the Lakers at this time next season don't have another top 6 player to go along with LeBron James. I don't think whether it's via trade or free agency, I don't think they strike out this offseason. I think they have a plan. I think LeBron knows what the plan is and is confident they're going to be able to execute the plan.
Yeah, I know it's not as easy as people think to be able to get these collection of players to be able to come there. And I think at the right time, LeBron will reveal some of the other things that went on in Cleveland. It has a lot to do with real estate, it has to do with the location, and who owns it. You know, Mickey Erickson and what they did with Pat Riley. What made Mickey Erickson a great owner or respectable when he went out and got Pat Riley and let Pat Riley run the basketball operations. That's how they won their first championship. And that's how Pat Riley was able to lure, before LeBron, man, he got Shaq.
Yep.
So there was already a precedent and a belief in Pat Riley and what he could do from a basketball standpoint. So the ownership, Who's run the basketball ownership in Los Angeles? It's the Buss family, run now by Pelinka and Magic Johnson. So those are things that LeBron never had that. Man, there was no NBA player trying to partner up right now with Dan Gilbert there in Cleveland. All right? His reputation speaks for itself. And those in the community, his reputation is a little more tarnished than us just covering the game because they know about all the stories and how he held Cleveland back in a certain sense there. So Los Angeles, it is a different ball game. But the thing about it is you have to be careful. If Kawhi decides not to go to the Lakers and decides to go to the Clippers, it's not because LeBron. It's because he feels what is best long-term for his basketball family, for him and his basketball family moving forward. It would have a little bit to do with LeBron, but more to do with Doc Rivers and the support that he can get there with the Clippers. And about individual timelines as far as how long and when I want to compete for titles, because everyone LeBron would be recruiting is at least 5 years younger than him. LeBron turns 34 in 3 days. Like there's not a 30-year-old he's going after. It's Kawhi Leonard probably be the oldest of the guys. Anthony Davis is 25 years old. But the other thing with Kawhi, and I can't speak to his mentality the way C can, but they're just in general, there are guys similar to Kawhi Leonard, maybe Kawhi's one of them, that also want to see, what if it's my team? What if I'm the guy? If Kevin Durant leaves Golden State, I believe it would be to either go to the Clippers if Kawhi's not there, maybe with him, or more likely to the Knicks to see my team, my guy, or my franchise, my championship. And I know you think I overrate that guys aren't thinking about that. I think in the NBA, there are guys that do look at what LeBron did in Miami in one way and what LeBron did in Cleveland another way. And if he's able to do something in Los Angeles, a totally different way. So I do think there are guys that will cross their name off the list, but they would do it if it was to team up with LeBron or to team up with Durant or to team up with Steph or to team up with James Harden because they want to see if they can be on that level themselves. Yeah, I do think that you can have more than one face of a franchise. I think we have fallen into, oh, this guy's the face of the franchise. Right now, it's been like, oh, who's the face of Golden State? Like, you can say Steph, but because he's been there the longest. Right. But where would they be without KD? All right, they have a couple less championships without KD. So for me, when you give a guy a max contract, you're paying a guy $40 million, what else you need to tell him? I'm paying you more than anyone on the team. Oh, you're the guy of the franchise. So I think that part right there is a little bit overrated. You pay a guy the top salary, he knows he's a part of that franchise. Oh, is he the face of the franchise? I just believe in the current NBA, there's more than one voice and more than one face. With LeBron is an iconic player. All right, with an iconic player like Kobe, it's totally different. All right, but in this current NBA, what if KD goes to New York? Kristaps, KD, whose team is it?
KD's.
Well, okay, but it's both your team. Kristaps going to be there longer. In your mind it is, but in their mind, what difference does it make? All right, it's about putting a team on the court that can win. Would you rather be with a winner or a guy say, oh, it's my team?
No, I think guys want both, for the record. That's what I think guys want. I think the ideal is guys want both.
We'll see where that's available.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. So I guess my question then is it really toxicity, or is it that guys want to go out and feel like they're the man on a team?
Listen,
I mean, maybe KD's...
What Durant said was
Is that prevalent
nonsense.
in the NBA, that people feel like being around LeBron is toxic?
I mean, if it was prevalent, then I don't think Kevin Durant would have called him to apologize.
Yeah, I don't think it was taken out of context. Word, Jenna, and we shouldn't use the word. We shouldn't use the word that Durant used, and that's toxic. With LeBron, is it more difficult? Yes. I've been with the Cavs. I've been with the Heat when LeBron traveled with them, and yes. But you're playing with the best player in the world. It was like that with Magic. My brother was on his team. It was like that with Jordan. I traveled with Jordan, Ron Harper and them. I traveled with them. It was difficult. So what? That's part of being the greatest player in the world. It's not toxic, but you are under the microscope. And the other players, their games are criticized more or critiqued more. So someone critiquing your game, that might be toxic to you because you're spoiled, you're pampered. Oh, that's KD, I'm sorry. But yes, so that's the way. We shouldn't use that word, but under the scrutiny like no other part, no other time in your career, ask Dwayne Wade. He seemed to do all right with it. Chris Bosh, it took him some time to adjust, and then he thrived.
Kyrie raised his game to a whole new level. Kyrie was going.
Decided in the end, this is too much for me.
It was too much for me, and I think Kyrie also decided in the end he wanted to be the star of his own movie. And you and I can disagree on that, but
how's that going for him now?
Well, I think,
is that his franchise, or whose franchise is Boston?
I think Kyrie is asserting himself in that franchise, but he also, if you remember, Boston wasn't one of the places he was saying I want to be traded to. But the word C used as the word Kevin Durant should have used, and it would have not been controversial, and he wouldn't have had to call and apologize to LeBron, is scrutiny. If you play on a team with LeBron, you are going to be one of the most scrutinized players in the world. And you've got to be okay with that. You've got to be able to deal with it. I'll tell you, a guy who I have a ton of respect for, but a guy who struggled with it, Kevin Love. Now, Kevin Love got a championship out of it, got a max contract out of it. But the scrutiny really wore on Kevin Love.
And the truth of the matter is most NBA guys aren't built for that.
Right.
Most of them are pampered. Most of them been told. They've been through the AAU circuit. They've been all coddled. No, they don't want to be scrutinized like that. No, they don't want to be critiqued like that. They think they're beyond that.
And Kevin Durant found out he wasn't built for it. He had a nice little safe space in Oklahoma City. All the scrutiny went to Russ. They criticized him once. They printed a retraction for it. He goes to Golden State. He's now the most scrutinized player in the league other than LeBron, and he has hated that part of it.
Right.
So, I think that for him it might be toxic. For him, the situation he's in right now might be toxic.
And you also have to realize, too, where LeBron is right now is totally different than the first move to Miami and the second move to Cleveland. Because right now, the NBA superstars, they're not Nick Wright. They know LeBron's going to hit a wall, and they know it's going to be soon. So they have to be able to gauge not only LeBron, but what are the other situations around LeBron that we can get other players? Because LeBron's age is a key factor to these other guys deciding. And on this last time, guys might decide, you know something? I might go with Doc Rivers. I might go to New York. I might do that. Yes. Because it's not about LeBron. It's not about being toxic. It's about that is what's best for their basketball brand to be able to move forward.
You know who feeds off scrutiny? Baker Mayfield. He likes it. Was Baker's Sunday stare down out of line?
Baker.
Let's break that down next on First Things First.
I like it, Baker.
That's a different type of cat.
I'm talking about Colin Cowherd. I'm looking at you right now. You need to recognize a baller when you see one, son. Leave Baker alone.